All right. It is Midnight in the Bay podcast. I'm your host, Alex Woody. Yes, there is a bed behind me. Yes, there is a lamp behind me. And no, the bed is not used all the time. Okay? Yeah, I'm not a sex maniac. Sex is gross. I'm actually asexual. I think sex is the most vile thing you could do to someone. That is so disgusting. They pee and poo out of those holes. How dare you? They eat food in that other hole. My favorite hole, because I like food. So, never having sex again. Might become a priest, but I haven't told the wife yet. So, we'll see how that goes. I'll let you guys know next week. It is episode 250. I do wish I weighed 250. This next guy, I don't even want to ask how much you weigh, but you're probably close to me. It's comic, it's jazz lover, Nick Mickelson. Give it up.
Hey, hello. How you doing?
Do you like jazz?
I like all music, and I do like some jazz. Yeah.
You look like you would stab a guy that was listening to jazz by you.
No, I don't like bad jazz. I'll stab somebody for listening to pretentious like French jazz. I don't want to hear that shit.
Right.
Yeah, I
And,
want to hear
uh,
some good old school American jazz.
and you just mentioned to me before we got started that Zoom keeps trying to blur out your microphone
It's
because
not
it,
doing it so much now. Well, there we go.
it
Yeah,
looks
see,
like
it looks like I'm talking into a dick.
it looks like Wesley Snipes is talking to you and he's standing on a chair.
Yeah, I think I put a filter on the background on like a Facebook call once, like a week ago, when I was fucking with the settings. And now
Yeah.
every app I do a video call in, it's still applied. I don't know. But it's kind of cool though. Like you can't see that my curtain is actually a blanket. So
We got to do things like that to try to be professional. I love how Zoom's like, oh, we'll come up with a setting called blur. You won't be able to see anything in the back. You still kind of can. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
you can still yeah.
Yeah. That looks like a blanket up there, blurred. It just looks like a blurry blanket.
No, it doesn't. It looks like blinds that are multicolored because I'm a very very sophisticated guy that likes colors in my blinds.
I did that. I put a blanket up during the time of my podcast because I didn't want the closet to show, but now I've just given up. The blanket always falls. People know I'm low budget. It's like high school friends that listen to this and they just want to see like when I'm gonna have a mental breakdown.
I thought it
So
was already happening.
oh my god, I sound like I'm dying. I think I have monkeypox, by the way. No,
Most
I had
likely.
it, dude. I had a cold. So, people were gonna be asking me at work tomorrow, what'd you do over Labor Day? Oh my god, we were at the lake. Yeah, you were talking to those people that they don't even let you talk. They just jump into what they did before they don't even give a shit. You know what I mean? They just want to talk
Right.
about themselves. I'm gonna be telling people I was sick. I'm gonna be like, ugh, this guy's such a downer. Ugh, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you do anything cool?
No, no, I slept in today.
Yeah. I think I text the message to see if you want to do the podcast, and you were answering, and then you hit back like at 2 in the afternoon, like just woke up, and I was jealous because I remember those days, no family, you know what I mean, no kid, hey, daddy, wake up, none of that shit. Like you're just sleeping. You
Yeah.
give grandma some Valium early in the morning, she goes back to bed, and now you're sleeping again, right?
Well, I mean, Tuesdays and Thursdays I got to get up and be out of the house like by 8. But I just had a late night all weekend pretty much. So
Yeah.
yeah, I slept in a lot. Still trying to wake up, so I got my beer right here, just waking up.
By the way, Nick is a comedian. I don't know if I mentioned that in the beginning. People were looking at you like, "Who is this guy? I recognize him. I think he's a bouncer at the saloon I go to."
Mm.
No, not a bouncer. He's actually a porn star and a comedian. This guy, he rails Puerto Rican chicks in Miami. Tell him about it, Nick.
Well, actually, I'm not an actual bouncer. I'm a fan of bouncers. I'm like a bounce connoisseur. So I stand outside of bars and check IDs for the love of the game. Um, I
You don't have
usually
the
work for
balls.
drinks.
You don't have the balls to be a bouncer. You're like, You're like a dude that like just hits open mics but doesn't have the balls to do a show. You know what I mean?
No, I have the balls to be a bouncer. I just don't have the criminal background that'll clear.
Right.
Yeah. So I usually just stand outside of bars and collect IDs and take money from strangers, and then I leave after about a half hour so I don't get caught.
Because you're like 6'5", right?
That's 6'2".
Okay, that's close. Couple off. I mean,
Yeah.
you're a great big presence. You know,
Uh, I'm a what?
big, big presence.
I'm a big. Oh, I thought you called me a big present,
Oh, I mean, I'm sure
but
you are.
without the plural sound, it changes the definition of that term. Yeah, yeah. I'm told that. I try to make myself smaller subconsciously, like I'm apologizing for my size, but I got to stop doing that. When I drink, I don't
Oh,
do it as much.
you know what? I feel you just being like kind of a big guy. I mean, I'm not tall. See, you got the tall, which is cool, being like a fat dude, but tall. Like a
Right.
fat, tall dude is fucking cool. Like I want to hang out with a fat, tall dude. A short, fat dude, I hate them. They're the worst, dude. They're so depressed and shit, and they're like trolls. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, dude, tall, fat, and guys that used to be fat and they're like skinny and they're like, oh my god, yeah, being fat sucks and like I changed my life and they're like trying to convert you. It's like hanging out with religious people. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. I mean, you're definitely healthier if you're not fat. You're definitely you're gonna feel better. You're definitely more attractive. You're definitely more fuckable. You're definitely gonna live longer. You're definitely more likable by the general population. You're definitely gonna spend less money at clothing and furniture stores. You're definitely gonna have an easier time getting healthcare. But like, who wants any of those things?
It sounds like you've made a pros and cons list before.
Yeah, give me bacon or give me death.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I sometimes I've beat myself up for being big, but then someone would like say something like this. I don't know if you ever get this. I'm sure you do because you're tall and fat. Get like you're talking about like, oh, I heard someone just got robbed in this area, and then the other person goes, I wouldn't rob you. You got like, you're a big dude. Like when I
Right.
hear that, I'm like, oh fuck yeah, I am. Like I do have big shoulders. Like yeah, no one is fucking with me. There's some
I
pro.
thought people didn't rob me because I wear like socks with holes in them, and I scream I don't have any money.
Right, right, right. I mean, just there's pros and cons. Like I'll say this, dude. If like fat saved my life. Being fat
Mm.
saved my life. I did heroin. Remember when people got into the fidget spinners?
Yeah.
Well, I got into heroin.
Okay.
Remember fidget spinners were cool for a month? I got into heroin
Yeah.
for a month.
When heroin was like the number one seller on Amazon. Yeah. Okay.
Before fentanyl, right? And people doing the fidget spinners, I'm doing heroin and the fidget spinners. Look at me now. But I was sick of shooting up. It's painful. It hurts. It's hard to find a vein when you're a big guy. And I'm sitting in the DMV parking lot. It's kind of depressing that I was hanging out in the DMV parking lot and I didn't even have an appointment or anything, And
You didn't
I,
even have a
I,
car.
I can't even find a vein because
Yeah.
I'm just a big guy. Like every nurse has told me, you got deep veins. Like just tell me I'm fat, lady. You know what I mean?
So this whole time I thought I had some like really special like veinature. You mean to
Yeah,
tell me
right,
you're
right.
shattering that image right now, and I just realized I'm just too fat to find a vein?
Yeah, sorry, I'm breaking it to you, Nick. You don't have deep.
Bro.
You have
That's
fat.
what I thought, but they're like, no, your veins. I'm like, oh yeah, I must. Fuck, I have some really elusive veins.
I'm just saying, fat saved my life. I put the needle down. I said, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm gonna snort pills instead. That's way easier.
Good for you. So it's funny because, and I don't want to rag too much on this because I feel like it's too easy. And I'm sure you get it all the time. I'm sure, especially since whenever you became a comic, I'm sure you get this all the time. But your look, your voice, you do have like an off-brand Tom Segura thing going on, and I'm sure you get it all the time.
I got
Listen,
it. I got it
bef-
at a. Okay.
before you say anything, I get fucking Silent Bob all day long. Okay, I get it all the time. And the hat doesn't help with the hair and the beard. I get it. The reason I bring up the Segura thing though is because you said fat saved your life and you have a drug story. And it's so funny because after I was already thinking that, that immediately makes me think of Segura's overdose. And his doctor's like, yeah, if you weren't so fucking fat, you'd be dead.
There you go. Wow, that's
Yeah.
weird. That's parallel because I haven't even heard that story.
Yeah, no, it was. I think it was on This Is Not Happening like 10 years ago or something. It's a good
I
story.
do like that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. I know I've thought about Instagramming them. Like, hey, I get that I look like you all the time, but I'm sure there's a lot of people that look like him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
But it's
mean,
weird.
maybe.
It's
I think
weird.
most people are trying.
It's weird. I do comedy. It kind of sucks though, dude. Because I'll even see comedians like that I haven't seen for a while that won't book me. Oh, see, you're going for the Segura look. No, I'm not. I'm just me. Because guess what, guy? I actually shaved my face recently with a fucking razor to the thing. And I got multiple people, including people in my family, saying, "Oh, I like you better with facial hair."
Yeah.
Okay. So I have to have the beard, Tom Segura. Oh, guess what? When I don't shave my head and I have the receding hairline and the patches like someone fucked up gardening in the cornfield, I have to shave my head because people talk shit. They're like, "Oh, you look younger with the shaved head." All right, I'm shaving the head.
Yeah, they're like, oh, you look like Segura
But
fucking
now I
11
look
years
like
ago. Is that what
well,
you're going for?
now I look like Segura because
Yeah,
I
you look like
have
modern Segura.
right. But I think I do have more of a thumb shaped head,
Yeah,
and
like
I'm still
Segura if he
mad
was
at
in an Airheads commercial.
I'm still mad at my mom. I'm still mad at my mom. You know what I
Why,
mean?
for the guy she chose as your dad?
No, no, no. It's not like my dad doesn't have a thumb head.
Oh,
My
it's your
dad
mom.
has hair, but my dad has glasses. See, I have great vision. Like
Mm.
I've actually got compliments on vision. Like, holy, how'd you see that? You know what I mean? I'm like, those are nipples. I can see
I
nipples.
I used to get those compliments, and then like 2 3 years ago, I noticed like the world isn't in high definition as much as it used to be, and I'm like, man, the future really sucks. And then the last 6 months, I realized my eyes are just going out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're like an old guy that's like, yeah, the world sucks. Like, fuck these people, fuck black people. Like, what the hell? And then you realize, like, oh no, I'm just like a bigot. Like,
yeah,
I haven't got with the times yet. Yeah, you're getting old, dude.
yeah.
Dude,
Nothing you said right
old,
now is anything I disagree with.
dude, I'm getting old. I get that too. Like, I wonder. I'm like I can't eat the way I used to. I mean, I'm still eating bad, but like, I can't eat the way I can't drink the way I used to, and sometimes I go harder than pain.
Dude, I had 5 beers and a half a pizza today. I'm gonna die soon.
Right.
Yeah,
You don't realize how old we're getting. That's my point, you know?
it sucks, man.
It really does. It really does.
Well, that was
So,
a good podcast.
yeah, I want to thank you for coming on. It was great. I mean,
That's depressing.
someone once told me that like sometimes I just want people to be honest, but sometimes people don't want to be mean. And I had someone go like tell me like, "Oh, your podcast should be like 10 minutes long." I was like I was like, "Just tell me it's bad, dude. Just tell me I run out of steam, you know?"
Yeah, yeah. No, I just started my own podcast, and terrible decision. I don't know why anyone in the world would ever want to do a podcast.
It's
Include
fun. I like it. I like it. It's
I think
fun.
it's a bad idea that I'm doing one, but
Why?
the first episode was like 32 minutes long, and I was like, I got to get this closer to 15. So episode 2 was 20, and I think around 20 to 23 is a good number for me.
You know what? I kind of want my numbers to go up, so I want you to quit.
Thank you, man. I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
I'm trying to get to 5 listens, and if you quit, I can get to that number.
Uh, I know you got more than 5 listens. Don't lie to me. You already had 250 episodes. You probably get like a $10 check in the mail every month for this.
Well, you know, I'll tell you what helps me keep doing the podcast. You know what you need to do? I have a guy that I went to high school with who's the producer of this show. He does
Okay.
all the posting. I post on YouTube. So I see the YouTube numbers, which, oh my God, I want to talk about suicide. Um, but like he posts everything on the audio section. So like I don't get to see those numbers. He doesn't tell me about the numbers, but he does tell me off his website I have the best amount of listens.
Let me
And
stop you right there. What's his name?
huh?
What's his name?
Paul.
Paul. And does Paul listen back to the episodes?
He used to. He doesn't anymore.
I don't. I think he lies to you, Paul. What are the numbers, and what are you hiding?
Yeah. Well, I
Release
think.
the numbers, Paul.
Hey, can I tell you the honest? You know how like we have that voice that like keeps us protected, like doesn't want our feelings hurt, and then we have like the real, like the true voice that like when it speaks, there's feelings are getting hurt. It's the truth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The truth is, I think Paul doesn't want to hurt my feelings, and I think he has a website he's trying to build with multiple podcasts on it. And I think if I actually find out the number, I'll leave. I'll quit. And he doesn't want that. But I know he stopped listening because he started having me do the write ups. He used to do the write ups for the episodes, which means he had to listen to them. And there was a couple times where he didn't post a couple episodes because he was like, "Hey man, I used to work with those people back in the day, and you can't use those words, you know." So like we had our little headbutts, but I think he kind of got. He's a busy guy too, but I think he kind of got sick of the show and stuff.
I mean, 249 hours of listening to your friend. I get it.
Well, yeah, and honestly, I did start with so my first or second episode, I OD'd on weed. I took a brownie with a friend, and I had to stop the episode because I got too high.
Wow.
And you know those Kova bars? It's like
Yeah,
500 milligrams. Yeah, my buddy Grant, who played college football, was like, "Oh, split this with me." Split a 500 milligram brownie. What is that? I'm not good at math, but that's like two something, right?
yeah.
So that's a lot, you know? And then he has a picture of me. I'm just barfing into the toilet yelling for him. And anytime I'm with this guy, because if you're in a group, you're going to yell for the guy who's most savage. Like, I'm sure when you're in a group and someone's sick, they yell for you.
Yeah, I think so.
Because, like, dude, like, even a chick, too, like, you want someone, like, if I'm sick, like, I want someone who's, like, a man to rescue me. Like I want like a big like beard, and my friend he's big, he's got a beard, and you have that feature. I like that. It might be like the old Viking side of me, like oh shit, I want like a Viking to help me, but yeah, like I've gotten sick, and that guy's been there.
No, when I'm sick, I want like either to be alone or I want a really feminine person that I don't want to sleep with, because if I want to sleep with them, then I don't want them to see me all fucked up. But I want like a really feminine, like mother figure type woman to just come like stroke my hair and
An
whisper in
older
my
woman.
ear, tell me everything's gonna be okay, give me chicken soup and Gatorade, rub my tummy.
I get that. I like an older woman to take care of me. A younger woman, I'm like, I gotta be more manly. You know what I mean? I can't
Yeah,
look like
younger woman, I can't cry in the same room.
right. But you're right. The motherly, give me an old
Yeah,
lady.
motherly. She's like, let it out, let it out, let it out, child.
You
I
should
just,
be
oh,
able. You
I'm
should
so
have a
sad. I'm
service.
sick.
Hey, they should have a service where you can call an old lady when you're sick to come make you soup and to come tell you that everything's gonna be all right.
I mean, I think an escort can technically do all those things.
I know, you know what? I think I might do that next time I'm sick because when I had the cold this weekend, I was miserable. And I'm a baby when I'm sick. I'm telling you, I was trying to do my best, but my wife's like, she was kind of telling me not to be a pussy. She's like, you're not gonna die from this, are you? You know what I mean?
No,
But it was
here's what you,
miserable.
man, you pull up your phone next time, you just type in those numbers and you go, hi, front desk. Yeah, can you send me the oldest escort they have on file? And that's
That's what I'm
it.
gonna do next time. And my
And
wife's
it's probably going to be cheaper.
and she's gonna show up.
Tell her to dress like a nanny.
Exactly. I'm gonna tell her to be a guy but dress up like a British lady, Miss Doubtfire. Hey, but I'm gonna tell my wife, sorry, I ordered a hooker. You know what I mean? She's gonna walk in, and my wife's gonna be pissed at first,
First.
and then she's gonna realize, oh shit, he's helping me out by hiring this lady to baby him because I'm not gonna baby him.
Mm-mm.
I mean, younger women won't put up with it, okay, but
No.
older women will.
And
You know,
I think we just figured out that home, like nannies and maids, they're just hookers that don't sleep with you.
they really are.
Yeah, we
They
just
really
figured
are.
that out right now. That's a new thing, and now we need to corner the market.
Yeah. Um, and they'll deal with a lot. I had a maid actually growing up. My parents did, and she'd come like twice a month. Okay, we weren't super rich. I know that sounds rich, but she'd come twice a month, and they can handle a lot. I remember one time, she would have headphones on so she couldn't really hear, and I remember I was sleeping, and when I was a kid, dude, every kid's like this. You'd have that morning wood,
Yeah,
you wake up with morning wood. And now my dick sleeps in with me. You know what I mean? And one time that maid opened the door, and it was like 10 hut. You know what I mean? We're going out
raise
for
blanket.
war.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? We're getting ready for war. It's coming when he wakes up. We got some war we're gonna have to deal with. And I just remember like kind of waking up to hear her opening the door and also realizing I had that, but I kept my eyes shut, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and I just heard her like close the door. You know what I mean? Like this they got to put up with a lot, you know what I mean? I can't imagine being a hotel maid. Oh my God, the shit they've seen, the
I
creep.
think I think when I was like 10 a couple of times, I had family walk in while I was sleeping and I'd woke up, but I like wasn't fully awake and it was like that. But I was a dumb kid growing up and I think I thought the blanket covered it so you can't really see it, like it cancels it out.
Yeah,
Like that could be anything holding up the blanket. That was my
right.
mindset.
And haven't you had the hotel maids where like you forgot you want to sleep in, so you forgot to put that thing in the door, and they'll just like do one knock, like housekeeping, and they'll just come in.
Yeah, they'll come in.
Like I feel like some of them, a lot of them are like creeps. They like want to see you naked. Like we're coming in, housekeeping. Like, whoa,
Yeah,
dude, like, give me a couple knocks. I was taking a shit. You know what I mean?
right, right.
Hey, by the way, give me a sec. Hang on. I gotta place an order real quick. Hang on.
Hello?
Hey, can I get another drink?
Okay.
Give me
All
one
right.
too. Give me one too.
Okay. Thanks, babe. I'll rub your feet. I promise. I'll rub your feet. She's pissed. She's
You were
pissed.
trying to be a boss and you couldn't
Oh,
hold it in.
I
You
just
couldn't hold it in.
I'm sleeping on the couch for like 2 weeks now. That was she's probably gonna spin in it for sure, poison it. You know what the weird thing? I think I didn't have a cold this weekend. I think I got poisoned because no one else in my family got sick. They're all
Okay.
healthy, running around, and I'm like dying. You know what I mean?
Right.
And um, yeah,
Where were you at?
I've just been here, but you know what? I did something. We've all done it. You want me to tell you I did something? I took a COVID test. I found out I didn't have COVID. I was just sick, right? I ended up going to a party yesterday,
Hmm.
but I've been sick. My nose is all fucked up. But I hit my friend up, and I don't know if you have friends like this, but they told me not to be an FAG. And when someone says that,
Was it
it's
a fighter pilot?
right, right. Are you
Like
serious?
the Blue Angels?
Are we joking?
I don't what it was an effigy. Oh, you mean a fag? I'm sorry, were you trying to say fag on your podcast? Because that's not a good word. And honestly, if you're gonna say things like fag, I'll fucking hang up right now.
Yeah, well,
So your friend said don't be a fighter pilot.
right. Let's keep it that. I was gonna say we've had to cut some words out just to try to get booked in San
Oh,
Francisco.
I'm not getting booked. Whoever in the Bay Area is your who watches your podcast is they're texting their other friends later. They're going, don't ever fucking book Nick Mickelson.
Oh, they do for sure. Yeah, the whole gay population of the comedy scene watches this. No, I'm kidding.
That's fine with me. I love people. I just don't like fucking people that are overly sensitive. I mean, if you're gonna spell out a word, say it. I'm not a child. I'm an adult.
Well, I
What's wrong
was
with you?
talking about a pilot, so
Oh, okay, an effigy.
no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I was talking about that, but I'm just saying when someone calls me that, not that it's a bad thing, but it kind of
I mean,
creeps me.
it's not a fucking nice word.
Right. When someone calls you a bundle of sticks, it's like, dude, I can't be a bundle of sticks. So I went
I
out.
I don't mean to interrupt. And maybe this is just the deviant in me, and maybe I don't know what this, but I am so much more uncomfortable when people dance around words.
No, I know you probably lost respect for me for sure.
I didn't lose respect for you. It's fine. You know what I
No,
mean? But like,
trust me. You're right. I should have just said it because I've said it
because now
enough.
you made it a thing. Now it's a thing.
Right now, it's a thing.
Yeah.
Fag. That felt good.
Don't
That
say
felt
it
good.
now. See, now
No.
you're saying it.
Huh?
Earlier your friend was saying it, and then I was clarifying what your friend was saying. So if anything, you're the one going to hell.
Yeah. Well, got a little chink in the armor. We all do.
That's not nice that you would bring up armor. I think my people have done quite well wearing armor over the last 1,000 years, and I don't appreciate you bringing it up.
Well, oh, by the way, I still do have a Chinese friend. Didn't realize she was Chinese until like a year ago.
Okay, before you finish explaining that, I just realized, you know how different that sentence is if you would have said the word I thought you were going to say instead of friend, which is person. It changes the entire dynamic of what you're trying to say.
Well, he was a friend.
No, no, no. But if you would have said the word person, which is I thought you were going to say, it changes the entire meaning of what you're going to say.
Yeah, it kind of blew my
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah, because if you say I have a Chinese friend, you wait for me to explain about my friend. But if someone says like I have a Chinese person, now it sounds very different.
Yeah, you sound like you live in Modesto and you're one of the last slave owners. You know what I mean?
No, it just sounds like you have stowaways in your attic, and I want to know what you're doing with them.
Um, they make my clothes.
See, that's not. I mean, you know what though? You can call that slavery, but really, I just think you're cornering the market. Why does Apple and Nike get all the people?
Well, and let me ask you, wouldn't you treat your slaves good?
No, because I would never have slaves.
Well, here's my thing. If I had slaves, I would treat them well where they didn't even feel like slaves.
Okay, here's how good I would treat these people. You ready? If someone gave me a gift of a fucking a truck of slaves, I would go, "You're free," immediately. See,
Right.
see how that works?
Hmm.
Immediately, that's what I'd do.
So,
Now, if one stuck around, it's like I really want a job, I'd
so,
be
but
like, all right,
here's the interesting part. You'll say fag, but won't have slaves.
no, I won't have slaves. I think slavery's wrong, but I mean, I'll employ people for wages that aren't livable.
But let me
That's
ask you a
that's
question.
capitalism, baby.
But here's my thing. You've heard all the slaves that had a bad upbringing, like a bad time, talk about it. I want to hear from the slaves that had it good.
Okay. Well, I think the point being made, it's not that look, everything that's ever anything you could think of is all nothing's new under the sun, right? Everything's happened at least once somewhere. That's not I think the point is that people shouldn't own people. I think that's the broader message. I don't care how you're treating people. You shouldn't own anyone. It's
Okay,
kind
so
of
let me
like
ask you a question, Nick. Let me ask you a question.
okay,
When you're married,
yeah.
does the other person own you? Because they kind of
Oh
do.
yeah.
Your
Oh
decision.
yeah. No, you own each other, and it's
Right.
I think what's his name? Fucking something rich Michael Richards when he played Kramer. He said it best. He said there's man-made prisons, Jerry. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's all marriage is and family. It's just man-made prisons.
Kramer said a lot of great things, especially in comedy clubs.
I know that's
Still
why
my
I thought I'd
favorite
reference
set.
him. I thought we'd go full circle with that.
That's probably one of my favorite sets
Now
ever.
listen, if you said, do I think it's wrong to own white slaves? I would say if you are not white, get the fuck out of here. That's racist. But if you are white, then you're doing two things. One, you're helping these whites see what their ancestors did, and two, if I get to be the person that owns them, then I'm doing my part too, because I'm gonna make a lot of money.
Well, that's what I'm for, Nick. I'm glad you said that. Like, I'm not for defunding the police. I'm for white people becoming slaves,
Uh,
so we can understand what everyone's dealt with. You know what I
Here's what
mean?
I have to ask you: Why is everyone so obsessed? I mean, for the last couple of years with defunding the police, I think the police need to be more fun. And
Right.
I am tired of hearing people say, make the police less fun. That's retarded. And I know you shouldn't say that word, but guess what I did? Because that's how I'm expressing myself, Alex.
Yeah. Well, the
Defund the
title.
police. The police should be more fun. We should have the police walk around with balloon animals and party streamers and cap guns instead of real guns. Wouldn't that be fun?
Well, back in the day, cops were
And
more fun.
candy handcuffs,
Remember,
handcuffs made out of
back in the
candy.
day, cops would go around to certain neighborhoods, and they'd be the local cop, and they let you hit the horn in the
Yeah,
car, or
and they
touch the
they'd be a
shotgun.
drunk and they'd hit their wife, and that's not cool. But they'd be fun around town.
Well, you know what? We always get the wife's opinion. Let me get the cop's opinion. Maybe the wife's a beat. Okay? It's probably hard being a cop of a wife because the cop's out all the time. I know it's hard being a
Being a
comedian.
cop of a wife.
I'm dyslexic, but you know what I mean. I know it's tough being the wife of a comedian. You know what I
you,
mean?
you do from firsthand experience.
Oh, I hear it all the time.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
bet. Yeah.
but I've done pretty well for being in comedy. Almost 5 years. There was only one night I did cocaine, and one night I came home like at 4 in the morning. That's pretty good.
That's it? Only one night you've done both those things?
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. You have a great track record, sir.
Well, we're getting the older I get, the nerdier I get, the less risk I want to take when it comes to that. My risk is eating Jack in a Box at 3 in the morning, which I did last night.
See, I do all that thing. I take all the risk. I'm not making it to 40. I mean, I might make it to 50 if I'm lucky, and that's it. My life is over, like way past halfway at this point.
Well, I want to travel a little bit before I die, so I
I would
might
like to make it a goal of mine to not die.
I think I might get. I think I might get some travel in, and then maybe get back on the cocaine and drugs, and that way, you know what I mean. It's like over. Like let's just die. You know what I mean? Have fun.
See, I've heard that argument, like, why do heroin when you're young? Wait till you're like 80 or 90 and just fucking rock out for the last couple of years you have. But it's like, no, man. At that point, I want to have wisdom and insight that all the drugs over 20, 30 years of use gave me. You know?
Yeah, actually, that's a big thing. Like, I met this kid whose family runs old people homes, and drug addiction's huge. Same with
Yeah, a
STDs.
lot of it's pharmaceuticals, though.
Same with STDs.
Yeah,
No, they do hardcore. Maybe the pharmaceutical will lead to it, but they found a dude who ran away, and they found him under a bridge with a needle in his arm. By the way, I like
well,
the kid.
it'll eventually lead to it. Yeah,
Yeah, right, right, right.
or maybe not. I don't know. What the fuck am I
No,
saying? What am I?
that's what happened to me. But
It does.
also, but also, like it was the people you surround yourself with. You know, um,
Yeah.
it's always good to do drugs for a little bit. And then get out of it if you
Yeah.
can. If you can. So, how old are you, Nick? In your 20s?
Yeah, I'll be 30 in October.
Oh, dude. Yeah, oh shit, my life. This is high production. Want to just tell you that was my light guy just fell asleep. Hey, wake up, dude. Come on, wake up.
Yeah, you gotta get your lighting guy back on the. Yeah, you gotta fire him.
He's asleep. I gotta fire this dude. What a loser. Chinese guy. Come on. I can't even hit him. You know what I mean? Stop Asian hate. I can't even get on this guy.
Yeah. Oh, you know.
Oh, remember I was telling you about my friend I just found out who's Asian?
Yeah.
Um, Crazy. He looks white.
That was the whole story. You're Asian? That's crazy. I
Look,
mean, if you
he
look at
looks
the
white. I
statistical
wish.
odds of human beings, they're probably going to be Asian, statistically speaking. If anything, you should look at someone when they're white and go, "Oh, fucking crazy."
Should we pull up a picture of him? I want you to tell me if you think this guy looks Asian. Hang on.
All right.
I
While
don't
you're
need.
doing that, I want to know what's the smallest demographic still alive? Would it be like Native American?
Can you see my computer screen?
I can. Open up your search history. Don't be a puss.
I do everything on the phone, so you won't find anything.
Well, then pull up your phone search history. Don't be a puss.
Well, I edit. I erase everything every time I go.
Oh, you got secrets,
My
dude. You
mind.
got skeletons in the closet.
All right. This guy, by the way, um, he's a great, uh, I should have known by his name, Anthony Liu. Liu is Chinese, but he's great at filming stuff. He's filmed a couple of my sets. Does this guy look Asian?
Yeah.
To me, he looks white. This
No,
guy
no.
looks white for sure.
Stop. Let me clarify. He is white. By definition, he is white, but obviously he's not Caucasian. He's Asian. Like, look at his eyes.
Right. Yeah, I
Now,
mean,
now, could he convince me? Maybe he's look. He's a little ambiguous. Sure.
yeah.
If he was like, no, I got like a vision thing and a stigma or something. I don't know. Maybe he would convince me otherwise. But with the last name and the eye shape, I would have guessed Asian.
I would have been a horrible detective. I didn't catch it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't judge. Whatever. I mean, I
Yeah.
like Korean
But no, I
detectives.
mean he's definitely white. I mean, look at his skin tone. He's white,
I
but
mean,
there's
Japanese
white Asians.
Japanese didn't release a virus, but it's whatever.
Yeah, whatever. But there's white Asians,
Japanese
just
released
like there's black Europeans, and I'm sure there's like There's like Russians and shit that live in. There's Mormons that live in Mexico. So
You know what's crazy? And this isn't
what?
even racist. Seeing like an Asian person with like a British accent.
Uh,
That's weird to me. You know what I mean?
I don't think so. To me, it's like seeing an Asian, like an American kid that his family's Asian, so he looks like them but sounds like us. Like that's to me that's normal. But I don't know. I grew up in Stockton, man. So like I think we have like one of the highest diverse cities in the nation. Like as far as
No, really?
yeah, look it up. We are one of the highest in the nation. In fact, there was one year we were at the top of like one of the most racially diverse cities in the nation. So I don't know, dude. Like I grew up around a lot of different friends and families and a lot of different like cultures and foods. Like this is all normal to me. I think that's why like I forget real racism is a real thing, and that's why I'm so prone to laugh at like people calling everything racist when certain things are clearly just people being stupid. Because
Well,
I've
we joke about it, right? Because we're not racist and we're not serious about it. But yeah, there is real. It
Yeah,
is.
but that's the thing is that I think I grew up in a place where the real stuff is so mild. As far as like I'm sure behind closed doors there's a lot of shit that's fucked up, but I mean publicly, like community wise, there's just like people here are just more focused on like how they're gonna eat and if they're gonna fucking have a job in a week and if their car's gonna run to get them to work, to get their kids to school. People are worried about real fucking problems here. And I think when people clock out like around Stockton, dude, we just want to fucking go home and fucking crack open a 40 with the fucking boys or barbecue or whatever with the family. That's just what people do out here.
You know what? Can I tell you what you just said? What I heard? You said people are blue collar. People work their
No,
ass.
not necessarily.
No, 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 no. It makes sense because when you're busy working, you don't have time to go on Twitter. You don't have time to read news articles and
Well, true, but then hold on. So there's another side of Stockton too. I mean, we have University of the Pacifics here, UOP.
oh, go Christian.
So
Yeah, 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 yeah.
so we have UOPs here, and so yeah, you do have this other side of things where there is this college kid mentality. Um, now I'm in college, so I see that aspect of it. But like when you go like downtown
I,
Stockton or you go in like the neighborhoods, that's not really what people are as concerned about.
well, my point is when you talk to people that have kids and they're busy working, providing for their families, they're
Right.
not too concerned and worried if someone says a certain word or they do a
Well,
certain
not only that, they have a better sense of humor about it because they've seen real shit.
right.
They know what it's like to miss a fucking meal. They know what it's like to
Now,
lose a job for little to nothing of your own fault and not
I
have an
just
income.
I just want to make something clear. We do believe that there is racism out there, folks. We're not discounting that it's not real.
No,
It was starting to get to
I thought
that,
that's
like
what we were
no.
I thought that's what we were saying, that it's not real. But
But I
no,
will
again,
say, I
I'm
will.
what I'm saying is like I grew up around so many different people that okay, here's something funny. When I go to towns that are like predominantly white, and then I do feel weird because it doesn't feel like home to me. When everyone looks like me, I'm like, whoa, this is fucking weird. You know.
Yeah, I think it
So I
really
think
goes.
that makes me uncomfortable a little bit.
I think it goes to the fact to like jokes, like people that are busy working and providing and doing stuff. They're not going to be as offended as much as maybe a college student or someone that has a cushy job, maybe doesn't have kids. They have more time on their hands to get pissed off about something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I think it's partly more time, but a lot of it's just not facing the same amount of struggle daily. You know, maybe their plate load is probably more focused on academia.
Like
Um,
if you notice, like there's a lot of comedians that will bitch about maybe other comedians and stuff, and it's like focus on your shit. You know what I mean?
well, yeah,
When I
yeah.
first
The,
got
the
into
less you're
comedy,
working,
when I first got into comedy, I acted like the comedy police. I remember I bitched online about someone stealing jokes, and I bitched about, other stuff. And I'm just like, why am I wasting my time? I gotta focus on me and what I'm doing. Fuck people, they're gonna do crazy stuff. They're gonna say crazy stuff you don't agree with. Whatever. You know what I mean? You
right?
know? Like, I'm just gonna move forward.
Yeah. Well, I always try to stay in my fucking lane and just be like I try to be my most authentic self. And I know there's going to be a lot of people that aren't going to like me, and there's going to be a lot of people that do like me, and that's okay. And the people that don't like me, I'm not going to take it personal. And I'm sure if I got, in a one-on-one with them, I'd probably find a lot of them are cool and maybe some of them would. But for the
How
most
long you
part, I
been?
mean, people are people.
How long you been doing comedy?
It's only been 3.5 years.
All right. So I'm almost at 5 years, and I'm like
Right.
just getting. I'm just getting to the point where I know people aren't. I'm not gonna try to win over everyone. Like I know
Right.
there's gonna be people that aren't gonna like me. Like I'm accepting that. So that's good. Like you're realizing that because that was something I had to like. Because I used to be all nervous before shows. Like everyone's gotta like this joke and everyone's gotta like this joke. And when you get to that mindset, you're gonna do horrible on stage. You're
Yeah.
gonna have a panic attack. You're not gonna be able to write. You're not gonna be able to think. Just be you. People don't like you, boohoo. You're gonna have another show. Eventually, you'll have a fan base. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
and then when I get stuff online, like I had people shitting on like one of the a recent video I had that was getting likes, and they just said some shitty stuff about my comedy. Too goofy was one of the things they said, and I'm just like delete. I can't focus on that. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm still talking about it. You know what I mean?
Wait, so you deleted the video?
No, I deleted the comment.
Okay. I mean, you know what? Do what you have to do to stay sane. If that's what you got to do, fuck it.
I gotta keep the negativity out. If you don't, here's my thing, bro. Like, there's stuff I don't like online that I watch, and I mean, maybe in the past I have, but now that I've been doing comedy, I don't write comments like "this is stupid," I don't like this because I've gotten that, and I don't fucking like it. You know what
Right.
I mean? And so, and I get that, you know what I mean? So I try, if I don't like something, I keep it to myself or I tell a friend. I don't post it publicly, you know what I mean?
Right.
And that's
Right.
some of the things that bothers me is I've even had comedians talk shit about me, but not to me. They'll do a post and they won't even use my name. They'll say, "Oh,
Hmm.
this comedian, he didn't use my pronouns."
Oh,
Me personally, that was actually one. Tell me, I'll love you. It was, tell me, you know what I mean?
right.
Especially,
So like you weren't informed and then they were upset about the way you chose to describe or the
right,
words you
right.
used.
I
Okay.
went up after them, and they started the post really pretentiously, like, I never go first, but a comedian was running late on one of my 7 shows. It's like, dude, how passive aggressive can you get? You're just saying stuff
Well,
for attention. If you really want to change, you would message me privately and go, you know, this really hurt my feelings, or like, you should do this. I would actually listen to that. But when you stop a comedy show, when you do something publicly like that, I feel like you just want the attention. You don't even give a fuck about the whole thing. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I don't know, man. I feel like when it comes to me, my ego is much more tame. And I'm not saying your ego is out of control or anything, but I'm saying compared to most comics, like I I'm sensitive, obviously. I'm a very sensitive person on the inside, but I mean, outside of all that, I don't feel like people really give a fuck about me. And I don't mean that in a dark or sad way, like, oh, no one cares. It's so sad. No, I just don't think people fucking take their time out of their day to think, oh fuck, what's Nick Mickelson think about me? Or man, that Nick Mickelson guy's awesome, or man, he really sucks. I'm sure there's a couple people on both sides of that, but I feel like everyone else is like, oh yeah, I know that guy. Yeah, whatever.
You
Like,
smoke weed? You smoke weed?
no, no.
Okay, that's why. Because if you
No,
smoke
no,
weed,
I
you'd be
don't
all paranoid. You'd be all
I don't
paranoid and
smoke
think
weed because
something.
it makes
Yeah,
me
yeah.
anxious and it fucks with my
Well, thinking
depression. I
about me.
What I do is I eat a little bit of edibles
Oh,
and that kind of mellows. It does a
oh,
little bit about what the smoking does, where it makes me focus on my problems, but it makes me focus on them in a calmer way
you
where I
know,
can
like,
kind of gradually look at them. But when I'm smoking it, it's like everything's at once.
you know what I like about edibles? I call it the healthy pill. It's like taking a little opiate. You know what I mean? But it's not gonna kill you. You take a little edible, like a little 30 milligram. It's like taking a couple Narcos. You know what I mean?
I like taking them a little before bed. That way, before I fall asleep, I start to get some of the benefits of analyzing, like just some of the shitty behaviors I might have had this last week or this last month, or things I need to work on or change. But I get it in such a mild, like early dose. I can focus on it for a little bit, and then I go to sleep and I have a good night.
I just like it for why I just like THC is I like kind of like what you're saying. You have a different mindset. Yeah, what you did. you step back and look at stuff over the week, you may look at something that was kind of like upsetting or hurt your feelings and look at it in a funny way.
Yeah.
Like it could maybe turn into a joke, you know? Um, I like it for that reason. It never really calms me down unless it's like straight indica, but I'll take the paranoia and the other effects for the effect I'm looking for. You know what I mean? You gotta make sacrifices in life sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I'm stoned all day, every day. Like what I mean by that is like
Oh,
I remember
you already feel that way.
well, like I remember as a kid, like before I first tried pot, right? The way my mind would work. And then after I tried pot, like the way my mind would like expand. And then
Yeah.
as I got older, my mind never like I one day I wasn't stoned, but my mind, the windows of my mind never closed that day and they stayed open. And so
Yeah.
now when I smoke, it's like the windows are already fucking open. Now we're just gonna add a hurricane to this bitch. you know, like
Right.
my mind's already just like overstimulated all day. Like all day, every day, my mind's pretty much overstimulated. So a little bit of edibles before bed helps me, look at some of my behaviors, try to be a better person, and then okay, I should do that. And then around the time I'd start to get nervous or whatever, I fall asleep and I feel fine.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, this podcast wasn't really funny. I don't know what you're going for. I feel like we probably, you know what? Let's do this. Stop recording and then start recording. Let's do another hour. Let's do this right.
Okay. All right. I'm stopping now, and then we're starting now. Okay.
All right, there we go.
So
Hey,
welcome to
Alex,
the
thanks for having me
podcast.
on.
Yeah, this is Midnight in the Bay, episode 250, The Weight I Wish I Was. And we're here with Nick Mickelson. Mickelson or Mickelson?
Mickelson. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good to see
I
you.
like
Thanks for having
Mickelson.
me on.
I like Mickelson better.
That's fine. Call me Mickelson. That's okay. I'll be your Huckleberry.
Nick Mickelson actually sounds like an actor's name.
It
Mickelson,
does.
cool. Mickelson too. It's like a cool. Have you thought about acting?
I mean, I guess. I mean, not like being a movie star or nothing, but I like writing and I like performing in my own sense.
Well, I'm not telling you that you're gonna be like a leading man, but
No,
would
I could be. I've Hollywood's been calling me for fucking months now, and I just won't return their call because I know what they fucking want. They want blood and they want my soul, and they
bro,
can't have it.
you could totally be like one of those guys that's like you'll see a guy in movies you recognize from other movies that's just like a henchman
Like
that
Ethan Suplee from My Name is Earl, the big fat brother. Like how he's in a bunch of he's in some Kevin Smith movies. He was with Edward Norton in American History X. He was in a bunch of other shit.
yeah, like
Like
that
him. Like you're
guy.
always like, oh, him. Yeah.
Is that like kind of like the same guy like from Friday, the guy with the weird eye, the big guy, big
There you
brother.
go. There you
Uh,
go.
which I like that for referring to black people as brother or sister. I like that sister, but yeah, it's funny. White people they refer to brother and sister as like people that they are related to, but
I mean, not if you're like a part of like some kind of Aryan Brotherhood with that fucking haircut. You probably refer to everyone as brother and sister at the meetings.
well, I can't really. I signed a
Not allowed to talk about it. Yeah.
I signed a non-disclosure
Signed
agreement.
an NDA. Yeah, I understand. I understand. Yeah.
I
Cool.
can't
Cool.
really
Cool.
talk much. Plus, the Grand Wizard would be pissed at me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No, you don't want to sell him out. Yeah.
My dad. So I'll wear his robe one day,
Yeah.
conquer
One day,
conquer the world.
dude,
But
I would look good in a fucking bathrobe, but like a no, like a big smoking jacket, like a big robe, like a Hugh Hefner robe.
yeah, Ronnie Dangerfield used to come on stage in a robe.
Oh fuck, did he?
Yeah,
I think
like
I
towards
think
the
I
end,
remember that.
towards the end. There's a
I
video
think
on
I've seen a picture or clips of him like that. Yeah.
dude, there's a video on YouTube where he's like in his early 80s on stage in Las Vegas, and I think it's on YouTube. And he's like kind of like I don't know if he's like really fucked up, but like the set's not going well, and someone starts heckling him, and he like snaps, and like all the jokes come back, and he goes into the guy with all these like jokes you could tell he writ a long time ago, and he's like the Ronnie Dangerfield you knew. But that's pretty cool, you know what I mean? Where you can just like be out of it, like oh, and just like snap, like poof, you know.
Yeah.
I've seen some other comedians like that. I'm not gonna lie. I've performed with some headliners that like to get messed up before their set, which I don't like to. I'll have a beer before my set, but even if I have two beers, I'll start slurring my words. I already kind of have a lisp, so it could start to go.
Yeah.
The show we did recently. Oh my God, I can't even believe I got home. I can't believe I even got home. I got a little cocky because I know Livermore PD a little bit. That show, Dave Coker's show. What was that? Was that like a magician? Oh, I can't hear you. Oh, what happened? You're on mute. What happened? You're on mute. You're on mute.
Can
M-U-T.
you hear me?
There you go. Yeah, you put yourself on mute.
No, somebody started calling me and it muted me.
Oh,
So the
I
show we
went.
had at Stockman's or whatever, you talking about that?
Yeah, and remember how crazy it was where like the owners were like, "Oh, just grab whatever you want out of the caged beer room."
Yeah.
It looked, folks, it looked like a jail cell with just like a all beer.
It was refrigerated, but yeah, it looked like a fucking weird cell. And they just said, they were like, "Oh, I trust you. Go back there. Just tell me what you take." And they kept sending me, but me and two other comics, they were like, "Yeah, give me this, give me that." Every time I went there, I came back with a drink for each of them and two for me. It was fun.
That's the true drunk tank right there. The
Yeah.
drunk tank just had like a bunch of beer, and the cops were like, "Okay, we caught you drinking and driving. You have to stay here in the drunk tank, but make yourself home. There's beer here." You know what I mean? Like, fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna go anywhere. There's a bathroom right there. They should let you drink when you get arrested for
Hold
like.
on. You just gave me an idea for a podcast. It's called The Drunk Tank. So a comic and another comic, every week it's a different guest comic, right? And they have to drink until everyone blows like a 0.10 or at least a 0.08.
Okay,
And they start the podcast. And then, 20 minutes in, they got to take another drink to maintain that level. But the whole podcast, you got to be legally drunk.
I like that. You can also call it like you can do a podcast where it's called Power Hour, and you do a Power Hour. You know what that is?
No,
Okay, it's
like a 5 hour power.
no, it's taking a shot of beer every minute for an hour.
Oh, you mean babysitting? What the fuck? That's stupid.
What's babysitting?
Babysitting, like, dude, I
Oh,
could drink
oh,
like I
oh,
could
like
drink 10
babysitting a
beers in an
drink?
hour.
Oh.
What are you
No,
doing?
dude, you'd get messed up, dude. You think it doesn't sound crazy, but a shot of beer a minute for an hour.
Yeah,
Think
you,
about
you
it.
drink you drink like a 12 pack.
When you're drinking a beer, you're talking to people and all that.
No, dude, no. I open a beer, it's gone within 2-3 minutes. I take 2-3 minute respite, and then I do another beer. I do that for like an hour, and I've drank like 15 beers, and I'm good and crispy.
Well, you would kill at this game. You probably have to do the Century Club, which is 120 minutes.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I never did that one. But that game I haven't played since high school, so maybe you're right. Like it probably
Well, okay, what's a shot?
now that I'm an
Shot.
alcoholic,
Hold
I
on. A
probably wouldn't
legal
do it again.
shot. A legal shot is 1.5 ounces, right? And an average beer by American standards with alcohol content averaging about 5%, high fours at least, is 12 ounces.
Okay.
So if you're doing one shot, that's 1.5. Let's do some math here. 1.5, 3, 4.5, 6. So that's like 6 shots, 5 shots of beer. That's like five, I don't know. So wait. So like in 6 minutes is one beer. God, I am bad at math. Holy shit. I don't even know.
Folks, call in if you know the answer. Email me, Alex Midnight shit his pants.
I started off, I sounded really intelligent. And then I
And you
started adding.
actually, can I tell you, when you started going, I was like, this is why I need to quit weed. And then you can figure out, I was like, I'm sticking with weed.
Dude, my brain is pickled. I've had like 6 beers before the call. I feel
Oh,
good.
I've been drinking, I'm trying to watch the weight, even though I love beer. But I've been doing squirt and vodka.
Okay, so do you like tequila at all?
Yeah, I know squirt and tequila is better, huh?
Dude, you got to make a Paloma.
What's that?
It's just fucking squirt tequila, and then if you have a little bit of fresh grapefruit juice, you throw that in there with some tahini. But if you don't have grapefruit fruit juice, literally squirt in tequila. You basically are right. You're basically at the doorstep of a Paloma. That's basically what it is.
A Paloma.
Yeah, and you just put some fucking tahini and maybe a little wedge of lime on that bitch. It's good. It's
Now,
good.
if I order a Paloma in Mexico, will they know what I'm talking about, or is this a white thing?
No, I'm pretty sure they'd know. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I think the more traditional Palomas, they serve them in like these clay mugs, and the mugs are insulated. They don't sweat, they don't condensate, and then they keep everything really cold so your ice doesn't melt.
Well, let's just say they couldn't afford glass in other countries,
You're a piece of shit, Alex.
I go by POS, okay?
Ah,
POS, my middle name. No, I like the clay cups. They do that tea in some of those cups with a little straw. But no, I'm going to Mexico in January. I'm gonna try to do comedy. I
really?
might,
Where at?
I might get killed. I don't know. I'm going to Puerto Vallarta. I'm assuming I've been there a couple times. They have a huge gay district, so I'm like, they gotta have comedy. Gay people love comedy. Remember we're talking about them
Mm,
fags
they
earlier?
like music.
Right,
I don't know about comedy.
right, right.
I don't think anybody really likes comedy.
I'm starting to believe that. By the way, I've
I
tried
don't
to.
think crowds that like comedy like comedy. I don't think comedians like comedy. I don't think anyone really likes it.
I tried to run a couple shows, and I was like, "Eesh, yeah, people don't like comedy at all. They don't like me either."
Yeah, yeah. I
But
feel it.
I like, dude, for all the bombs I've had and bad sets and bad crowds, for just that one good show I have had, it's worth it. You know what I
You know,
mean?
it's funny. I agree with you, but how sad is that we describe that as being worth it? Just that one memory to take with us forever out of everything we've sacrificed to
Kind of
do
like
this. Like,
kind of like marriage. You know what I mean? There's a lot of cons, but some of the pros are pretty powerful. You know what I mean?
yeah, like if you die, they have to they get to pull the plug or not. Like if you get on life support.
Well, that's scary because they'll be pulling it quickly. They'll be the doctor won't even finish the sentence, you
That's
know.
what I'm saying. Like I don't know if I want. I don't know if I want that. It's
But
terrifying.
at least my name will continue, Woody, which is nickname for boner.
I thought it was just a stupid name.
Right. No, it is really stupid. I hate it. I wish I was named Mickelson, you
I
know.
honestly, I think Nick Woody. That'd be kind of an interesting name.
That's my son's name.
Your son's name's Nick.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
I swear to God. Yeah.
See, I think I don't know because Nick's a short name, so like having
Right.
a two-syllable name after it that could work.
Right. So his Mexican family, because he's half Mexican, half white, his Mexican family calls him Nico.
Mm,
We call him Nick. You know what I mean?
right.
But I saw someone playing football college, and their name was Nix, which I liked. Nix.
That's pretty cool.
That's cool. Nix Woody would be cool. Maybe the next kid. But anyways, dude, that's been a fun podcast. It's been time already.
It's
We
been
didn't,
fun, buddy.
but we didn't really talk much about
Anything?
or you. No one found out anything about you. Just that you're not 6'5". You're 6'2".
I you found out how to pronounce my last name. I'm not 6'5". It's not nice to say the word fag, but don't spell it out to me like I'm a 5-year-old. God damn it.
Right.
I
That's
don't think people should own other people. And if you have an Asian friend that's white and you didn't know he's Asian, you're dumb.
right. Well, I'll be killing myself for the podcast. Actually, I think Gabe was on the podcast, and this is how dumb I am. I asked him, what was Hitler's first name?
Jesus.
Yeah, I know. My dad slapped me after that. He's like, "How can you disgrace our white brotherhood?" You know what I mean? People ever say you're racist? I'm like, no, I didn't even know his name was Adolf for a while. So I was like 34, dude.
You know what though? So like speaking of dictators of that time and war criminals, right? I know Hitler's first name. I don't know Mussolini's first name, and I don't know Stalin's first name. I just thought of that. And Mao, who's a different thing, different time set, kind of different in time, I think. I don't know Mao's first name either.
I want to say Stalin's first name was Dan. Dan Stalin. And I
Daniel Stalin.
and I want to say
Danny.
Mao's first name was COVID-19. And who was the other guy?
Mussolini.
Mussolini Alfredo.
But
For
it was fettuccine Mussolini Alfredo.
see that'd be my rap name. That's a dope rap name.
Fettuccine Mussolini Alfredo.
Um,
Hey.
tell the folks where they can follow you and where your like upcoming shows are.
Yeah, yeah, man. You can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at Mickelson. It's spelled Mykelsen, or just type in the actual spelling of my name. I'll pop up. Um, oh, I have a podcast I just launched called Mouth of Madness. I am the host of that one. I don't know why I thought I had to tell you I'm the host. I just said I launched this is stupid. You can find that on Anchor and on
You
Spotify
could
for
have
now.
you could have launched it and hired a slave to host it.
Well, it wouldn't be hiring then. But yeah, so you can find it on Anchor. I knew you'd get that one eventually. It's on Anchor and Spotify. Just look up Mouth of Madness. It's Mouth of Madness podcast, whatever. Is there anything else I need to say? Look all that good stuff
You have any
up.
shows this week?
Let me look at my calendar. No, I had one on the 10th, but I had to cancel because I have something to handle I had something with family this weekend. I got to look at my show schedule. I know I'm going to be in Sonora on the 24th,
I tell
Sonora,
you,
California.
anytime you have to do something that's like kind of boring or like dumb, I think like a cool way to like make it seem like it's not dumb or stupid is just say like I gotta handle something. And when you say you have to handle something, it's like you're a badass, dude. Like I gotta handle something this weekend. Like what? Like what is that? Like make sure like money is buried like in a certain location. Like what are you doing? You know? So I like that. That's cool. I'm gonna start using that. Anyways, keep going.
Pressing matters that came up, and I got to go handle it. That's it.
I love
Pressing
that.
matters.
I love that.
But yeah, you can find me on those platforms, Anchor
Yeah.
and Spotify for Mouth of Madness, which is a podcast. It's basically, if you've ever listened to Coast to Coast AM or anything like that, it's kind of like a spoof of a radio show. But I do a segment where I talk about like my week, and then I have another segment where I have usually a comedian is a guest, but they call in to the radio show. First time listener, long time callers is what I call them.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, it's definitely there's a theme. It's kind of like taking radio theater and then taking an FM or an AM radio show spoof and then mixing that with an actual interview. It's like a
Oh
lot of
nice.
things in one.
Nice, nice.
It's weird. It's different. I don't know. I don't know if anyone's gonna like it, but we're on episode 2. It's new episodes every Sunday night at 10 p.m. Yep. And yeah, I'll be hopefully hitting some more shows soon. It's just school's been crazy. But yeah, check out the podcast, check me out, and that's sick.
Yeah, go check out Nick. That's great. Instagram is
Mickelson, Twitter's Mickelson. They're both spelled at Mykelsen.
and I just want to say something too. Bravo to Zoom because they've been blurring out the base of your mic, but they haven't been blurring out the tip. I just want to say that's very progressive. Yeah, right there. You know what I mean? Look at that, showing them the tip. I love it. Check them out. Make sure you subscribe. Tell new friends about this podcast because we're gonna grow. Joe Rogan, I'm calling for you, dude. All right, there can only be one bald comedian with a podcast. All right. All right.
You
Thanks,
gotta
Nick.
tell Sakura
Appreciate
about that.
it. Yeah, appreciate it, dude. Thanks, man.
Bye.
Bye. Keep waving. Keep waving.
I'm still waving.
Keep waving.
Anyone else nipples hard?
I'm gone. All right. Guys, that's been the podcast. He could still hear me, but he can leave because I am going to do a sponsor shout out. This podcast is brought to you by NPC Podcast. It is the non-player character. Oh my god, that is horrible. This is bad. Maybe I shouldn't have my wife make me drinks. No, go to Silvertongue Audio. That is our sponsor. Go to silvertongueaudio.org and you will see my podcast there, Midnight in the Bay. You will see NPC podcast, the non-player character podcast that I was just talking about. That's a great podcast, video game podcast. People are in the industry that are talking about video games, so it's like relevant and real. And they also talk about addiction, something we all know about, some more than others. Hey, I'm sure your addiction's like Pokemon. Gotta catch them all. So go check that out. And then check out Dazed and Disturbed, which is a fun podcast about, dark subjects with a little light shine on them with the help of Mary Jane. I like it. It's fun. Check it out. This is White Wolf on the beats. I'm glad he made the music. That's in the podcast. Thank you.